On March 20th, 2026, a tennis match in Miami lasted 3 hours and 20 minutes. And when it was over, 21 of the world's top players, the Women's Tennis Association, and every tournament director in the sport had a decision they could no longer push aside. Alex Eala rewrote the rulebook. The question is whether the WTA is ready to admit it. Here's what the data actually shows. Eala walked into that match against Laura Siegemund, a German veteran with 20 years on the professional circuit, ranked number 45 in the world. And what unfolded was remarkable, not because of the tennis, but because of everything around it. Siegemund received a formal time violation from the chair umpire for going over the serve clock. She took an exceptionally long bathroom break right after winning the first set, one that commentators described as a deliberate attempt to break Eala's mental rhythm. She complained about fan noise from the upper deck. The same upper deck that was packed because of Alex Eala, from a professional who'd spent 2 decades in this environment. Now here's the read we at CourtScope want you to sit with. Laura Siegemund did not expose a weakness in Alex Eala. Siegemund exposed a weakness in the WTA. The match ended 6-7, 6, 6-3, 6-3. Eala won. Danielle Collins called Eala's composure ___0 __0 . But the bigger story, the one that matters, is this. That match wasn't just about gamesmanship. It was the moment the WTA's inability to govern its own rulebook became impossible to look away from, and Alex Eala was at the center of it.
After that, and watch her try to continue to progress, because I like her game. Obviously, she wants to get better than where she is now. She's got a lot of good hand-eye coordination and ability to take the ball early and redirect. But the fan stuff is always fun for me, because whenever you see players from smaller countries, the fans are so passionate when they get up to the top.
Let's talk about money, because the WTA is at its core a business, and right now, Alex Eala is one of the most disruptive forces this tour has seen in a generation. In 2024, Alexandra Eala earned $289,628 in total prize money. She ranked 159th globally in earnings. Then, 1 year later, same player, same racket, same Babolat strings, Eala earned $907,777. That's a 300% increase in a single calendar year. She jumped to 74th globally in earnings. And as of April 13th, 2026, her career prize money sits at $1,869,094. Now here's the number that the mainstream sports media keeps glossing over. At the 2025 French Open, Eala lost in the first round. She earned $84,452. Earlier that same year, she reached the final of the WTA 250 Eastbourne Open and earned $30,380. A first-round Grand Slam loss paid her more than double what a WTA 250 final appearance did. That's not a story about prize money reform. That's a story about what Grand Slam access is actually worth and why Eala's 2025 Miami breakthrough was the most financially significant tennis moment the Philippines has ever produced. Eala entered Miami 2025 ranked number 140 as a wild card. In the quarterfinal, she beat Iga Swiatek, the world number 2 at the time, 6-2, 7-5. In the semifinal, she pushed Jessica Pegula, a world top 5 player, to 3 sets over 2.5 hours before going down. For that run, she earned $332,160 from one tournament. We've seen the comments on this channel. We know what the Eala Army already gets. But here's what the numbers confirm beyond the emotion. At Indian Wells and Miami in 2026, Eala's practice sessions drew crowds that rivaled or outright exceeded those of Alexander Zverev and Taylor Fritz. 2 of the biggest draws in men's tennis. Courts next to them, featuring other top 10 names, sat comparatively empty. James Blake in Miami and the organizers at Indian Wells publicly called her influence, quote, one quote. Her fan base, they said, turns regular matches into what they described as, quote, two, quote, atmospheres. This isn't anecdote, it's conversion. Eala converts casual viewers into paying spectators at a rate almost no one else on this tour can touch. And the engine behind that conversion has a specific name: the global Filipino diaspora. In places like Dubai and Florida, where large overseas Filipino worker communities live, her matches get moved to center court specifically to handle the crowd and give broadcasters what they called, quote, three, quote. That phrase, quote, four, quote, is worth millions, literally.
She works hard. Yes. That's why we like her, you know, because she's the face of the Philippines.
Just aside from her talent, she's also thinking of the future.
You know, I've only dreamed of making tennis grow in the Philippines, and now I'm bringing a whole new audience to tennis all around the world.
So when Eala plays, we all get together and we all watch her support her as a group of people.
Are there actual like gatherings?
Oh yeah,
yes.
really? Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's
We plan our dinner.
And that's when the deeper picture starts to emerge, because Eala's commercial pull didn't land in a quiet, stable institution. It landed inside a tour that was already cracking from the inside, and the timing revealed everything. In 2026, 21 of the world's top players signed a formal grievance letter against the Women's Tennis Association. 21. The grievance focused on how stars are treated differently, how commercial priorities are set, and how prize money gets distributed. The WTA responded with a $400 million compensation increase spread over the next decade. But the letter itself tells you something the organization would rather not have out there. The players don't trust the model. Here's what that means through the lens of the Eala Effect. The WTA was built on a simple foundation: win more, rank higher, get more. That's meritocracy. But that foundation is now being tested by a commercial reality it wasn't designed to handle. When Alex Eala gets a wildcard invitation to an elite event, her ranking doesn't technically require. It's not because the WTA is playing favorites for fun. It's because Eala drives ticket sales and media engagement in a way that tournament organizers can't afford to ignore. She unlocks an entire region, the Philippines, Southeast Asia, Japan, China, for global corporate sponsors. They've said this publicly. Meanwhile, Aryna Sabalenka, with a world number one, has reportedly been moved to secondary courts in favor of more quote, _5 emerging names. Think about that. The best women's tennis player in the world bumped from the main stage for marketability reasons. That is not a clean, functioning meritocracy. That is a system fighting against itself. And here's the interpretation that most analysts are completely missing. The grievance letter and the Eala Effect aren't two separate stories. They're the same story. The WTA built a meritocracy, then realized meritocracy alone doesn't maximize revenue, and now it's trying to serve both masters at once, while 21 of its top athletes are on record saying the gap between those two goals has grown too wide to ignore. Jasmine Paolini, after losing to Eala in Dubai, reportedly complained about the atmosphere courtside. Opponents have described the Eala fan base as quote, _6, We've talked about this in the comments here plenty of times, and our read on it is straightforward. A sport that spent decades struggling to fill center court outside of Europe and North America now has a player who creates crowd conditions so intense that veteran professionals cite the noise as a competitive disadvantage. That is not a problem to be managed. That is the most powerful sign of growth this sport has seen in years.
Like, we're not concerned about anyone else right now. It's Alex Eala time. This is Alex Eala's moment. Our days, our dinners, our evenings are fixated on when she's playing. That's real tennis fandom right there. Love it.
$77 a month. Come on, just go get it. I mean, $77 for the year.
For the year, yeah.
I mean, that's a
month,
better.
come on.
That's a better upgrade than your monthly subscription. You got to go get that.
Have you ever heard of another player other than their family that planned dinners around one tennis player?
Not
No.
for me, just my family.
No, probably not even my family.
Depends what it was for dinner, but this is so great for tennis in general.
Yeah.
I think having players.
But here's where it gets even more revealing. And this is the part that we think cuts to the heart of everything. On March 16th, 2026, Alex Eala reached her career high ranking of world number 29. 2 weeks later, on March 30th, she dropped to number 45. Not because she played badly, not because her form fell off a cliff, but because 390 ranking points from her 2025 Miami run expired, and they were replaced by only 120 points from her 2026 round of 16 result. The ranking system subtracted 270 points from her standing because she performed better last year than she did this month. That's how the system works. Every player faces it. It's essentially a mathematical tax on prior success. But here's the insight no one in mainstream tennis media is drawing from this. On the exact same days that Eala's ranking dropped from number 29 to number 45, her commercial value did not drop by a single dollar. Her fan base didn't shrink. The sold-out final at the 2026 Miami Open, 16,830 fans, didn't happen because of her ranking. It happened in spite of it. The WTA's ranking system, as it currently exists, cannot measure what Alex Eala is actually worth, and that gap between what the algorithm says and what the market says is the fault line underneath every decision the WTA has to make about wildcards, court scheduling, and tournament placement. This is the rewrite. This is what the title of this video is really pointing at. It's not that Eala broke any rules, it's that her existence has revealed that the rulebook was written for a different era entirely, one that predates a player from the Philippines selling out a 16,830-seat arena regardless of where a computer ranks her.
Memorable to see a youngster really step up to the challenge. It looked like she was fading away physically towards the start of that second set, but she fought back, and the fight is something that we're going to constantly see for years to come if she can just keep going on this momentum.
Yeah, she just has an amazing spirit. I mean, the way she fought through that match. And look, it's one thing to win a bunch of big matches in a row. You see the leg taped up. You see her playing a terrific player like Jessica Pegula. And like you said, Coco, there were moments in there where we're like, okay, that's it. I mean, how many times did we get off the couch in the green room and start to walk in here?
And yet, and this is the part we find most significant, the most concrete evidence of the Eala effect isn't a ticket sale or a sponsorship number. It's a building. From January 26th to January 31st, 2026, the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center in Manila hosted the inaugural WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open, 32-player singles draw, a $115,000 total prize commitment. This tournament did not exist before Alex Eala. PSC Chairman Patrick Gregorio has been clear about the intention. It's a launch pad for a 500 or WTA 1000 event in Southeast Asia. The Rizal Memorial Tennis Center went through significant physical renovation, backed by the Philippine Sports Commission and the Philippine Tennis Association, specifically to accommodate over 2,000 spectators and meet international standards. That renovation happened because of what Alex Eala represents, not because of a ranking number, because of what her career told the world about the commercial potential of the Philippine tennis market. In that inaugural tournament, Eala reached the quarterfinals before losing to second-seeded Camila Osorio of Colombia. Osorio went on to win the title, beating Donna Vekic 2-6, 6-3, 7-5 in the final. The loss was noted. The tournament was called a massive commercial success, and those two facts sitting side by side, Eala out in the quarterfinals, the tournament thriving commercially, might be the clearest single illustration of the Eala effect in existence. Her presence generates value that has nothing to do with her result on the day. Nike, Babolat, Globe Telecom, the Bank of the Philippine Islands, and locally Juice are already on board. Industry insiders say she's being targeted for endorsement deals at the level of Emma Raducanu's post-US Open commercial windfall. And unlike Raducanu's appeal, it isn't limited to one market. It runs across the Philippines, Japan, China, and a Southeast Asian tennis audience that's still growing. Greg Rusetsky compared his competitive hunger to Manny Pacquiao. That's not a comparison made for drama. It's a precise one, right? Because what it describes is cross-market cultural resonance, the ability to become a sports icon that reaches well beyond the boundaries of the sport itself. Now let's bring it all the way back. The Siegemund match, 3 hours and 20 minutes. formal time violations, a bathroom break that observers described as deliberately extended to break Eala's rhythm, complaints about upper deck fan noise from a professional with 20 years in the game. That match has been cited as a primary reason why immediate rule changes on gamesmanship and match pace are needed. What that actually means in plain terms is this: the current rulebook doesn't have the tools to protect a player like Eala from tactics that exploit its own administrative gaps. And the reason those tools don't exist is that no one built the rulebook with this scenario in mind: a player young enough that a 3-set endurance battle affects physical recovery, popular enough that opponents have real tactical incentive to drag matches out, and prominent enough that every gap the rules fail to close ends up in the headlines. Eala won that match. She reached her career high ranking of number 29 11 days later, and then the ranking math came in and took 270 points away. So here's what we want you to carry from this video. The shock in our title isn't dramatic language. The WTA is facing a genuine structural problem. It has to figure out how to govern a sport where a player ranked number 45 generates more commercial activity, fills more seats, and drives more international broadcast value than players sitting 2 or 3 times higher on its own official list. It has to decide whether a rulebook built around ranking-based meritocracy is even the right framework for the era it's now in. And it has to do all of that while 21 of its top athletes are already on record saying they don't trust the institution to get it right. The Eala Effect didn't build gradually. It arrived the instant a wildcard ranked number 140 beat the world number 2 in straight sets in Miami, 6-2, 7-5, and an entire nation of overseas Filipino workers watched it happen on every screen they could find. The WTA didn't see it coming, the sponsors did, the tournament directors did, the 16,830 fans at the 2026 Miami sold-out final did. And we've been saying it on this channel since before the mainstream caught up. The Eala Effect isn't a hype cycle, it's a structural recalibration of what professional tennis is worth, and who gets to decide that.
Gracious to all her fans. She spends time with her fans, signs the autographs, takes the photos, and really just shows the Filipino community that it is all about the Philippines. And I still carry that flag with me no matter where I go across the world. And such a young woman at that has that wisdom of just what it means to play for her country.
Only 20 years old, such maturity, already a hero to her entire nation. I mean, it's basically Manny Pacquiao and Alex Eala, right? I mean,
That's it.
So here's the question we're leaving with you, because this is what we genuinely want to hear from the CourtScope community. If the WTA can't fix its rulebook fast enough to protect players like Alex Eala from 3-hour gamesmanship matches, and can't build a ranking system that actually reflects her commercial value, is the institution capable of handling what the Eala Effect is about to become in 2027? Drop your read in the comments. We read every single one. And if you're not subscribed to CourtScope yet, this is the channel that covers what the WTA isn't telling you: the data, the economics, the institutional pressure that never makes the highlight reels. Hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.